There is a difference between watching and winning. There's a difference between watching and winning. One of the things I love about being a creator, especially on YouTube, but on any platform, is this concept of YouTube University. You get the ability, you have the opportunity, you have this crazy chance to engage with experts sharing their life experiences and advice that you would normally have to pay a significant amount of money for. We like to call it YouTube University. I mean, if I need to, swap out something on the car, I remember we were in St. Louis this past summer. We had a rental, and it was one of those Ford Expeditions that had the 3 rows. It was a gorgeous vehicle. We loved it. It was self-driving. It had all kinds of functions, features, bells, whistles. And in the course of our time, of course, when we were traveling up there, we had the 3rd row down, and we were using that space to for bags and different things that we were taking up there. We were there for a trade show as well as some programs that we were doing. And so we were there for that. And then as we were while we were in St. Louis, moving around as a family, doing different things, we of course emptied the truck and brought those rows back up. And then we needed to put them back down, and one of them got stuck. It got stuck like halfway in between, and we were trying to figure it out. And finally, my wife just went on YouTube University and found the stuff that was there. Found some videos. We found a number of people that were complaining about this particular issue with this particular vehicle, and they were like, "Man, you've got to hold the buttons down to reset it, and it's going to go through a bunch of different movements, and finally it's going to drop down and bring it back up." And we were able to fix it just by going through what I like to call YouTube University. But there is a difference between watching and winning. There is a difference between watching and winning, and the challenge is that you can watch so much expert content and advice on these platforms that you internalize it, right? You can even regurgitate it. You may even lull yourself into this concept, this mindset that I've been able to win with this free information because everything on the internet is free. And let me be clear, I don't gatekeep. I don't keep, there's nothing behind the veil that you're it's just more of me. And a lot of the coaches that I work with are the same, but here's the difference between watching and winning. The difference between watching and winning is taking action. It's taking the information that you learned in the watching and putting it into practice and using it and leveraging it for success in your own instances, in your own life, in your own projects, in the things that you are looking to achieve. There's a difference between watching and winning. Winning requires methodical, systematic steps towards getting incrementally better at a thing so that you can win. And sometimes you will have to watch. You will need to see how others do it. You may even need to watch your own film so that you can tweak and innovate and review so that you can win. But to be clear, the two are not synonymous. Watching is not winning. And what I have found is that while there is a overabundance of information available to us, like this is the information age. If you thought it was bad when we had Google, now you've got Claude, Gemini, and ChatGPT. Like information is overwhelmingly available. Wisdom and organization, however, are not. Wisdom and organization are not. And sometimes the way that information is packaged, it's organized, is because of the wisdom somebody else had to know you're going to need to go through this before you go to this, before you do this, before you do this. This is actually the strategy. This is actually the roadmap. I may put a ton of information out there, but I am not necessarily organizing it into the exact steps because of the wisdom that I've gleaned and garnered over the years of experience of my life. I can't necessarily do all that out on the internet for free. This is where community comes in. Listen, piecing together random tips from 50 different videos that you're watching will lead to like a Franken strategy, right? It's an amalgamation of all kinds of pieces and parts. And sometimes it works, but a lot of times it doesn't. And we don't have a real metric to say why. True growth comes from a curated, expert-led curriculum. A curated, expert-led curriculum. This is why I say I never gatekeep. I put all the information out there, but if you want me to do the walk with you method, that enables us to connect all the dots so that you can see what the image is on the page, that's where community happens. That's why in the community there's a Q&A session once a month. That's why in the community there's a hot seat session where members can sign up and they can sit on the hot seat, as it were, and we can talk through the things that are working, the things that they need to review, the things that they need to try a little more of, tweak slightly, praise them for what's going well, and give them constructive feedback so that they can make the adjustments to win. In the community is where we have the masterclass, and we do have one this coming week. In the community is where we have our tools and tech session. In the community is where we have our coaching corner. In the community is where we have direct messages and people can post questions like a community, and we can celebrate one another like one of our members who just crossed 28,000 subscribers on YouTube and is landing a brand deal for creating a course. We celebrate that stuff together in community, but not only do we celebrate it, we get to do the postmortem to understand, why did this work? What can I apply to me? What can everyone take away from this? What is specific to this person's situation? Free tutorials give you pieces of the puzzle. This is why I call it the YouTube University trap. Because while it's great and it's good, it can be a trap for those who don't have the discipline that community gives you to be able to take the next step, to be able to take action on the things that you're watching and learning so that it can have impact on your life. Free tutorials give you pieces of the puzzle, but community, the resources, the master classes, the different experiences that you will have there, it gives you the full picture. And one of the things I want to share with you as you get into this new year is this concept that if you want to stop guessing and start executing, you're going to need the structured blueprints available inside community. You don't have to do it with me. That's okay. But community is where this kind of thing is crystallized. So the concept of community is very much like a faith-based space, right? Where you have this church and it's supposed to be a community. And good church is community where you can share your failures and your wins, and you can talk about what you're going to try next and what you learned. You can hear from those who have gone before you. You can talk with the quote unquote expert, and then the expert can bring in other experts. People think that this whole concept of religion and faith and church only exists in the faith space. But I'm here to tell you that community and membership, your mastermind group, right? These spaces function very much the same, and they travel parallel to what you're doing with your faith. My wife has been a member of BNI, Business Network International, for the last 10 years and has developed a very strong, core-knit community of people who have seen her business evolve and grow and expand and take on new things, reach for greater, fail, overcome, experience the valley and the mountaintop. And they've been there with her every step, and they've been able to cheer her on. They've been able to refer her people. This is how it all works. This is the ingredients that make it fit together, that allow us to really, truly embody what we would like to see our content, our business, our brand do. Yeah. There's a massive difference between watching and winning, but watching with action and community can lead to winning. And I'm just simply saying, you want to be able to add those pieces together. And I want to give you a great example of that. Organization and wisdom do cost. Organization. Information is free. It's ubiquitous. Oh my word. Just open up any browser. Listen, even Facebook you can search. Instagram has made their posts searchable now. There's just an overabundance of information, but it's not organized. And the only way that information can be organized is through experience. And another word for experience is wisdom. And what I found, and this is the investment, if you weren't here with us yesterday, in terms of my word for the year last year was collaboration and making those investments in me. But what I have found is that organization and wisdom come at a cost. They come at a cost. And I think maybe cost is the wrong word. Maybe the word is really investment. And you're not investing in the coach, in the community. You're not investing in the platform. You're investing in a future version of yourself that you may never, ever get to realize until you make the investment. There's a massive difference between watching and winning. The YouTube University is phenomenal. The content university, whatever you want to call it. You could be on LinkedIn watching right now. You could be on Facebook watching right now. And you've been able to find all kinds of stuff that has expanded your mind, have helped you to overcome some things, maybe some how-to videos that have walked you through some specific steps to get a particular result. But the organization of it all and the experiences that allow someone to curate a process and a system that allows you to experience transformation, those things come at a cost. And those are some of the things we want to share with you inside the community. If you haven't seen it already, right on the screen right now is kirkrnugent.live/school. And that is my community. That is the space where I have been pouring in. This is a space where I'm always looking and helping and assisting. We have 70 plus people in that community right now. We'd love to see you in there. This coming Sunday, we're going to have a masterclass and it's going to be great. But a week from today, we're actually going to have a graduation. And I'd love for you to be able to come. I want you to be able to see what the culmination of all the things I'm going to be talking about this week looks like. The program is called the A-List Digital Footprint, and we've got 8 people that are going to be graduating from that program. And for those that are unaware, with an A-List Digital Footprint, we deliver a social presence that's aligned with your core message ensuring opportunities are seized and interest is cultivated, along with a content strategy and workflow tailored to your strengths. We put you back in control of how the world views you. A lot of times I like to ask the question, are you in control? And would your digital footprint be considered A-list? And if you have any trepidation about answering those questions, I would love an opportunity to help you answer them with confidence, because this is what this community is all about. Giving you the tools, walking you through the program that allows you to have a digital version of yourself that is working while you're asleep. A digital version of yourself that truly represents who you are at your core, not just a patchwork of engagement and comments and posts and videos, but something that truly represents you in the best way and enables you to ensure you don't miss any opportunities. Yeah, information is free. And absolutely, I want you to keep watching. I love that you are here. I'm excited about those who are watching live. And if you're watching on replay, we're excited about you as well. But I never want it to be lost that how I utilize content is for me to familiarize myself enough with a person to know whether or not I want to take the next step. And for some, like I went to Graham Cochran's offer challenge a week or so ago, and it was phenomenal. What I needed was just the challenge. But to be clear, there was enough content that I had seen of him online in his YouTube channel and him guesting on other podcasts that gave me a sense of familiarity that he's probably going to have the information I needed. So I paid the couple $100, I think it was $300 for the 5-day challenge, which ended up being 6 days. He gave us a bonus. And it was more than I could ever have imagined he would deliver in those 5 days. At the end of the 5 days, he asked us to go with him further. But for me, what I needed, I received in those 5 days. What I'm trying to share, though, I could have strung together all the pieces with his free content. I could have. But being in that space, there was about 60 or so of us every day for 5-6 days, Monday through Saturday, that were together in that Zoom room with him for 2 hours if you paid for VIP. Being in that space gave me the insight, the walk with you, the transformation, the blueprint, the roadmap that I needed to be able to answer that particular question that I had. That's where true transformation takes place. And content is great. And maybe from free content, you have been able to move the needle. You've been able to experience transformation. You've been able to get all the things answered. But for those who are saying, I need something curated, community is the space for you. And I would love to be able to offer that to you and give you an opportunity to engage with us. I don't know what happened to my other screen there. It should have shown a little glimpse of the community. I'm not sure what happened to it. Well, I guess it's not showing up. But it should have just given you a little glimpse of the community so that you could see what that looks like. For those that want to join us for the graduation, I wish to be part of the first founders graduation. Come on. And for those that want to join us for the graduation, the link is on the screen right here, kirkarnugent.live/grad. And I'm going to go ahead and drop that into the comment section as well so that you have that. But it is also in the description on all the platforms, no matter which platform you're watching on. Don't fall into the YouTube University trap. YouTube University has its benefits, but watching is not winning. There is an application and an action-taking process that is required to go from viewing to winning. And sometimes you can do just that, but other times it's going to require you to have a more curated, strategic approach, which may require a guide, a coach, and a community. And I'd love for you to be able to join us. Whether you hit us in the community, which David has just shared that link on screen right now, or if you decide, I'm not certain about the community just yet, but I want to come to the graduation, we're going to give you a full dose of what this thing looks like. With that said, let me go back to the beginning here. I see Dr. Tachi is with us. He says, good day. Thank you so much for being here, Dr. Tachi. David Hunt is with us, one of my moderators. You can see that blue wrench. Always love to see you guys engaging with one another in the chat. It does my heart well when I see the back and forth as I am presenting or sharing. It's always good. And of course, we had upwards of 15 to 20 people on with us today in various forms. Right now, that number is fluctuating. I love that comment, David. The difference between watching and winning is taking action. Come on. Greetings, family. Jenner88 is here with us as well. I see Tracy is with us, also doing some greetings. Doc Vibe is here. What's going on, sir? Thank you guys so much for being with us. Always good to see you in the chat. And I love this question this comment from Doc Vibe. We missed you the last couple of weeks, Doc Vibe. I don't know where you've been. Hopefully all is well. I know that some were taking some breaks, but absolutely want to make sure that you get a chance to join us for the graduation. It's a week from today, and I'll be going live all week to talk about both the graduation and our community and the masterclass that we have coming up. But I wanted to share, of course, yesterday we talked about why we talked about the lone wolf fallacy, the concept of going it alone and why that may not necessarily work for you. Today, we wanted to kind of talk through the difference between watching and winning and the YouTube University trap. Tomorrow, we want to talk about the blank page syndrome. We're going to be going live midday every day this week, and we hope that you'll come back and join us. If you have questions, this is the time to put it in. Sending a quick word of greeting to all those who have been watching and hanging out with us today. I hope that there has been plenty of information here for you to be able to put some pieces of the puzzle together and make some actionable next steps. Take some actionable next steps. Claudia Allen, Danita Jones, Dre Labordi, Dwayne Wood, Florence Donald, Gina Wilson, Ray Allister, and Richard Harden. These are the founders group. This is a pilot program, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited that they chose to be with us and chose to be part of this thing. Christian Sass says, been a minute. Hey, been a minute, man. Absolutely. I'm glad to see you on as well. But I'm excited about this and wanted to just kind of pause and see if there are any questions. If they're not, I'm going to get out of your way for today. Don't want these videos to be much more than 20 minutes. And I think we're right there right now. But yeah, hopefully you can come back, maybe even check out yesterday's video. It's on YouTube. But the truth is, as we review and as we land, while information is free, and I put that up on the screen, while information is free, organization and wisdom are not. Organization and wisdom are not. And sometimes you might end up with 50 different videos with tips and tricks and best practices. And what you finally arrive at, unfortunately, can be a Franken strategy that may or may not work. True growth that I found comes from a curated, expert-led curriculum that connects all the dots and allows you a space to learn, to grow, and excel. These are some of the things that I know have benefited me, and I'm hoping to be able to provide that for others. So if you want to stop guessing and start executing, you want a structured blueprint for what success could possibly be for your business, for your brand, for your ministry, for whatever you feel led and called to do in these internet streets, we'd love the opportunity to be able to work with you, and we'd love for you to hit us up in membership. Let me take one last question here before we go. Kirk, I hope that get to ask my question that I posted. I hope that get to ask my question that I posted. Did you, let me see here. Maybe I missed a question. Greetings, Brian Jones. Thank you so much for being with us today. I see. Okay, I see. I did miss a question. Here we go. Let me catch this one. Kirk, in your video yesterday, you talked about the lone wolf syndrome. Why do you feel that many people are afraid to ask for help? There is this. This is such a good question, Doc Vibe. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity for to be able to see this. I missed this question, but yesterday we talked about the whole lone wolf scenario. I did not say that correctly, but we talked about this. But it stems from a hustle culture myth. It stems from a popular hustle culture myth that you have to do everything yourself to be a self-made success. That there is this myth that I don't need people. I can actually do this on my own. What's going on, Melanie Diane Howe? It's always good to have you come through and hang out with us. But there's this myth that hustle culture suggests, even though it is not at all true, it doesn't matter which guru you refer to, that there are somehow that they have made themselves successful by themselves. Oh, no. The most successful personal brands in history didn't build in isolation. They had a war room. And to answer your question, why are people afraid to ask for help? Because we have not normalized an atmosphere and environment where asking for help is encouraged. Where asking for help here, it's very confusing. And I can't thank you enough for the question, because I do think there is something to be said for the content strategy that goes around this as well, right? Because if you are the one asking the question, and it's a question that many people have, what I have found is that you will be followed just for asking the question. The person that holds space for the answer to be found sometimes is the one that gets followed. That's what I found to be true in content. So why people are afraid to ask for help, it's a misguided conclusion that we have arrived at, that somehow, some way, there are those, or in order to seem and look important and successful, we can't also be seen as being asking for help. I've been in coaching sessions, Doc Vibe, where I've been in coaching sessions where somebody will say to me, they'll literally be sitting across from me in the Zoom room, and they're saying the reason why they haven't gone live yet is because they are afraid of the questions that will be asked while they're live. Like, what if somebody asks me a question that I don't know? And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, then you tell them you don't know. And that answer is that is the most feared answer. Like, I can't do that. I'm supposed to be the expert. And my response is, you either are the expert or you're not. But you're not an expert on everything. You're an expert on your lane. You're an expert on you. That's why I always couch everything that I share from the perspective of stories that give you a window into my experience. If I tell you, like, man, I learned how to tie my shoe by doing the two, rabbit ears and then tying them together, and you're saying that isn't how I learned how to do it, that's the only thing you can do. You can't actually tell me my way is wrong because I've been doing it my way. That's been my experience. My experience informs what I share, and I'm an expert on my experience. But the moment I start to broaden that and say I'm an expert on everything, that's a very bad place to be. It's a very bad place to be. So to answer your question, Doc Vibe, why are people so averse to asking for help? Listen, I did a show for over a year on this channel where I would come and say, I had a QR code on the screen that if you wanted to be coached live, you could scan the QR code, email us, and we would schedule you for one of those Wednesdays. You could come on and be coached live. Do you know how many coaching clients I got from that show? So many that I can't count. It was wildly popular. But do you know how many guests I had on the show? Not many. people would scan the QR code, email me and say, I want a private session. I don't want to ask my questions live. I want a private session. I want to do the Nicodemus route. I want to come under the cover of night. And I want to have a private session with Jesus. Well, and I'm not trying to liken myself to Jesus. My point is they didn't want to be seen asking for help. And yet the sessions where I was able to have a guest on the coaching corner and coach them live were the most beneficial sessions, the highest viewed sessions. And people were not looking at that person as if they were less than. They were looking at them with awe and reverence that they had them guts to come on and allow me to coach them live. Why do people struggle with asking for help? I think it's just a human condition. And it's something that we need to get over, because what I have found is very much counter to that whole premise. The person who asks for help, the person who holds space for the question to be asked and the answer to be found, is usually the one that gets followed. The reason why I'm such a big fan of Oprah Winfrey is because she had the ability. I want to be clear on this, because many people are like, oh, it's the Oprah Winfrey show, but she's constantly interviewing other people. And one of the challenges when you're interviewing other people, that the show can't necessarily be about you, because you're asking questions of someone else. But the reason why it worked for Oprah is because she knew how to ask the right question to keep it right in the lane of what she wanted to talk about. She governed the conversation, even though she wasn't answering. People would come away from an Oprah interview and say, I shared way more than I ever anticipated sharing, just because of how she held space to ask the question. And so I'm simply saying this. I'm giving you this as a cheat code. People are averse to asking for help, and they do this to their own detriment, because the person who realizes and hones the power of being able to ask for help and hold space for the answers to be found, that's the person that gets followed. All right, you guys have been chatting it up here. let me go back up and see a couple of these comments. What up, Melanie? Y'all need to understand, it's my sister from another mister. She says, what's up? She's also said she loves the jacket. Come on, I have like 4 or 5 of these. I'm just going to keep cycling them out. Always good to have you here. Excited. She says, excited to catch live. Absolutely. Oh man, I love it. The grad link. Okay, I'm gonna put the grad link on the screen, Dr. Tashi. So it's right here. kirkarnugent.live/grad. And for those that are interested, I'm having a graduation here pretty soon. The A-List Digital Footprint Founders Graduation Program. This is where we are, and I'm hoping that there we go. No Zoom registration popped up for me. Oh, really? kirkarnugent.live/grad. Hopefully that's the one. And I hope that gets you where you need to be. Your journey is more valuable than your success. Come on, Christian Sass. Could not agree with you more. Melanie Dianhouse says, admitting you don't have all the answers also builds trust. It makes you real. Actually, that's part of the success matrix. My answer is always, I don't know, but I can find out. Listen, Technicom Media, and this is the reason why I have said this when I get a chance to do corporate training and working with C-suite individuals, CEOs, and executives. My background is having been a chief information officer. I worked in that C-suite, but from a technology perspective. And one of the things I always tell them is you want to have somebody with some technology or technical background on your team, because our default mindset is solution oriented. We don't necessarily have all the answers, exactly what you just said, but we are oriented towards finding the answer. We will search for it. We will Google it. We will bring in the expert. The technology person recognizes their limitations, because it's just not possible for you to know everything. And I love that. Wouldn't it be Wouldn't be so boring to have all the, it would be crazy boring if you had all the answers in the world. Who would want that life? I so agree with you. Going live is easy. The more you do it, the easier and more comfortable you will get. We don't know everything. So be honest that don't quite know it and move on. That you don't quite know it and move on. Outdoors in Maryland, couldn't agree with you more. Yo, my guy, Kwame, what's going on? It says great entrepreneurs master the art of delegation to scale their success. They focus on their strengths. They empower others to handle the rest, avoiding the burnout that derails solo efforts. Could not agree more. This is, listen, the lone wolf fallacy is what we touched on yesterday, and Kwame's comment absolutely reiterates that, doubles down on that. Christian says you'll never start because you're waiting for perfection to arrive, and that's never going to come. Practice, yes, sometimes make perfect, but imperfect practice makes imperfect as well. So you have to be careful as to what you're practicing. Practice also makes permanent. And those are some of the things that I've learned, and I go through and really admonish when I'm in coaching as well. Wouldn't it be so boring to have all the answers? Yeah. I definitely agree with you, Melody. Dying out. All right. I have to head out, Tracy says. Thanks, Kirk. See you all soon in the community. Love that. Thank you so much, Tracy, for being here. I found out that when you ask a question, there's usually one person who wanted to ask that question but was very afraid. I think it's far more than one, Dr. Vibe. I believe it's far more than one, especially in these content streets. You will find that it's not just you that had the question. Maybe one person in the Zoom room or one person that's watching live in the current moment. But when that video is now made available for replay, there's multiple others who will have that same question as well. And I think that's how you become a comment creator as well. And that's a whole nother cheat code when it comes on to content. I just look forward to sharing notes. Love it. Melanie says Oprah is the bomb. Listen, I take my notes, man. You gotta look at the greats. As they say, success leaves clues. I have found out that the best way to get more ahead and move forward is to ask questions / ask for help. Honestly, that's the cheat code. That's the leapfrog. That's how you get into the areas of exponential and rapid growth, is when you have someone who's like a guide, which is exactly what we're talking about today. All right. When we talk about this whole concept of watching is not winning and the YouTube University trap, we touched on both of those today. And I thank you for reiterating that. This has been so awesome to just kind of listen through and read through some of the comments and posts from today. Christian says, in the age of AI, human vulnerability will be the differentiator. People gravitate towards authenticity. Truer words could never have been said. Christian, I 100,000% agree, because And listen, this is why I have doubled down on live, because live content cannot be mimicked by AI. AI cannot take questions. AI can't put a comment on the screen and say, hey, Doc Vive, thank you so much for that. AI can't do any of this. This is why I have doubled down on live on this channel as my primary mechanism for delivering content, because I want the live component to be baked in. So what you'll notice is at the beginning of the video, I just deliver the value that I would have delivered even if I wasn't live. I just deliver the value that I have in my notes to deliver, and then I take questions, because your questions bulletproof the content. Your questions make it so that those who are watching on replay also look forward to the questions as well, because their question, like Dr. Vibe said, may be in the questions that I responded to. And so there's so much good strategy that we are learning, so many different things, and you've got to be able to pivot. In today's day and age, content has shifted wildly with the introduction of faceless and AI and all kinds of stuff going on. People just reading off notes on the screen that AI gave them with no personal touch, no personal experience, no tweaks and edits made by themselves. To me, it makes that there's a whole lot more noise in terms of content that's being produced. But what it also means is that there's even fewer people who are doing content the right way. And for those who have a rigid awareness and a dogged determination, relentlessly pursuing this whole concept of putting out good, authentic content, you keep doing that, you're going to find yourself in success. Family, this has been a great session. I'm excited for the time we've been able to spend. Double the time that I intended, but your questions were absolutely phenomenal. I hope to see you in the community or at the graduation next Tuesday, January 27th at 7 p.m. Central Time, where we'll have the founders of this pilot grow program that will come to a fruition, come to a close, and then from there we'll go into a year of coaching. We'll give far more details on what that program is and what it was and all those details. But I'm excited about that whole space that we've been able to experience, and for you guys being with us today. Come back tomorrow as we talk about this whole concept of wow, I just totally lost my notes. Come back tomorrow while we talk about the Lone Ranger, the blank page syndrome, Thank you. Desi News Network, the sign, what? I don't even know how to read that. The SI Network, I think it is the SI Network. Maybe I totally mixed that up. Thank you for being with us as well, as you came in right at the last minute there. Blessings on each and every one of you. Have an awesome and phenomenal day. Hope to see you in the next one. Grace and peace.